And yeah, this is the look of Antigravity. It looks like Cursor a lot. I still prefer Cursor.
It is VS Code and it is version 1. So, can't be too harsh. But one thing they have done quite nicely is actually this thing called the Agent Manager. It's got this idea of like inbox, and it's this idea of chatting with multiple workspaces. You can change your workspace, and it's kind of this one-stop shop for controlling a multitude of projects, along with the kind of Git work tree-esque type of thing where you can set off different agents to do different things. The code comparison thing is a bit rough. I saw some really dodgy styling as the diff, showing you the diff of the code. I look forward to seeing what happens with it, but nothing surprising. My coding tool of choice at the moment, which I'm really enjoying, is Trae. What do you think of this? So this is a much more, in my opinion, a much cleaner VS Code fork. And in my eyes, it's specifically AI focused. So you've got this solo mode, which these are all my chats and things like that. Create a new chat. I can do planning, I can do coding, I can just do vibe out and build. And then I've got like a little browser here, which runs. You've got some tabs here as well, which I quite like. So I'm just going to run PM run dev, get that going.
I like that the tasks are chats, and this is what was not so apparent to me using Cursor, that I would start a chat and then ask to do something, and then I would ask it to do something else, and then ask it to do something else. And then it made me think, I'm piling up this conversation and it's being sent to the AI every single time, like the whole context. And it's just so unnecessarily long in some cases, because let's say if a task is finished, I should close the chat and add a new chat and then start a new topic there. Essentially, it's per topic in a way. And then not necessarily like delete the chat, like close it, but still have the option to go back and say, hey, can you look at the code and fix that thing that is relevant? So it has it in the context. It obviously will look at the code each time, but having it in the context, like the memory in a way, right?
Like I can jump between these, and I can rename it so I can, whatever. It's just it's bringing this more natural language approach to coding, because as we were saying earlier, coding is not the output anymore; it's the product. And look at this UI. Now, this is not using Gemini 3. This is using Claude. I think it's using Claude. In fact, it probably obfuscates the model that it's using because it's just in this max mode. But this was the UI that it put together. And this is very reminiscent of pre-Gemini UI, right? Looks fine. This was good. And if you go watch my video, I actually pit this up against Cursor Agent. And I gave them the exact same prompt. And the design of Trae was much better than Cursor. However, Cursor was so fast, like blink of an eye fast. It was crazy, but the UI looked like trash. This one at least had a bit more to it, and it kind of worked a bit better. It works a bit better as well. So yeah, and you can also flip the switch then, and you can go into your traditional kind of experience where you've got the we've got the code, and you've still got the agent, but you can of course close that. Yeah, you still have the classic one, but this is what they've just released. It's this solo mode, which again is the more conversational and whatever. And this is, I feel like I would probably need to use Antigravity a bit more, but I was very happy with the way that Trae have done it. So yeah, that's all I have to say about Trae. About Antigravity. I wasn't too impressed. I thought it was a bit of a lazy, rushed release, potentially to coincide with Gemini 3. Whereas they could have cooked a little bit more and release something a bit more impressive,
All of these switches that we see, to me, indicates that it hasn't been really figured out. So
well, they bought.
Who is it we are building for? How people will use it? Like, what is the easier way? What is the preferred way? We don't know. That's why we have a bunch of toggle and switches to accommodate for all of that.
Yeah, and that's why I like Trae, because that's still a VS Code fork. But they've really thought about how the UI looks from an agentic standpoint. You know, I feel like
Yeah.
they've actually taken time. It's not a massive overhaul. You can still draw parallels between traditional VS Code, but they've just reduced the interface a little bit, especially in that solo mode. They've reduced that interface to make it more conversational, a bit less cluttered, and a bit more focused on what it is you're concerned with, which is my prompts and my output. This is part of a larger conversation on my show, Cmd+AI, which we stream live every single week. We discuss the news and all things related to AI in the world of design and web. Catch us next week and join in the banter.